Hi team. So I get asked by a lot of you, how do you recruit working rock star coaches? And I feel like, is it a secret sauce? No, it's definitely not. And is it like specific action items? No, it's not that either. So there is kind of a fine line of finding that magic and also very actionable steps and things that you can do. So I'm kind of going to go through my thought process about why I find so many of you coaches that believe in this opportunity, that want to make this a career, that want to quit your full-time job, that want to be able to provide a six-figure income for your family, and why that's different from some other coaches. I actually have reached out to some of the elite coaches, some of the very high up top 10 and things like that, and asked, like, how do you get to top 10? What is your mentality? And I've heard it's a numbers game. You have to be adding 30 to 40 coaches a month to get in the top 10. And I've thought about it, and obviously, shooting for the stars is my mentality. Why not be in the top 10, right? But if you're adding 30 to 40 coaches a month and someone's a 10-star diamond, how does that make sense? Like, it does, but think about that. That's a lot of coaches, and a very small percentage of those coaches are really successful, are hitting diamond. And I personally would rather have my team, sounds silly, but I'd rather have my team not hit top 10, but to have 30 diamonds on my team, to have 30 women and men, I guess, but I don't have any guys yet, have 30 people be able to advance their business to a place where they can find financial freedom, they can hit their goals, that they are clicking. I feel like once you get to diamond, you're clicking. You may not be making six figures, obviously, but you are well on your way to establishing that this is a career for you. And so that's my thought process on it. Like, I actually looked at some numbers, and of all of my coaches, I have 49% of my coaches have told me they want to make a career of this. And I find that number to be amazing. Absolutely amazing, because the discount is awesome. Why wouldn't you want to sign up for the discount? I initially just signed up for the discount too. I did not sign up thinking this would bring such change to my life and such financial freedom. But, with that being said, you have to believe in that. If you really want to make this a career, if you really want to attract the people that want that also, you have to have unfailing faith that this business can be that. And it can't just be a very topical reason. We hear all the time, find your why that makes you cry. And, I've talked about this with some other, really successful coaches too. Like, I don't have something that is this tragedy in life that has happened to me. And I'm thankful for that, obviously. But I think you can still have a why that is deep and that is serious and that can draw people in, that doesn't have to be a very sad or traumatic event. And for me, my why is so much of, being able to be home with my kids and, nurse my babies, but be able to provide our family with a life and a lifestyle and financial freedom and the ability to dream and to set crazy expectations for what we want to do. And I think that is a why that can make you cry. It gives you that urge, like, set your soul on fire. We hear that. You have to have that mission. And if your mission is truly to help people and to help your coaches, if you take yourself out of it and you look at your coaches and their why becomes your why, that's how you're going to help them push to that next level. And all of my coaches that say they want to be working, some struggle, some get it easily, but I can tell you right now, they know that I am behind them 100%. without a doubt, I will do everything in my power to support them. I'm not going to handhold. There's a difference between inspiring and mentoring and giving information that is not handholding. I think to remind someone of why they started and why they're awesome and what makes them special, that's where the magic comes in. So my first thing that I wrote down was you have to figure out you. You have to figure out what makes other people want to be a part of what you're doing. Obviously, you have to provide content. You have to be sharing what you're doing in a non-salesy way. You have to be sharing your life. I think people are never going, there's a lot of coaches, and if you don't share really who you are and what you stand for in a non-controversial way, sometimes controversy will follow some of your parenting decisions or lifestyle decisions. But in general, if people don't know you or can't understand you, they could care less. And you have to figure out who you are and what you want out of this business. And my number 2 was you have to go all in. You have to have that unfailing, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure this out. Not anything holding you back. Nothing like, oh, I shouldn't post that because I'm really not comfortable with that just yet. I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. And that's fine. If you have that holding you back and you have made yourself aware of it, then you know the reason why your business isn't progressing as quickly as you'd like it to. I do things that sometimes I'm uncomfortable with, like, oh, am I really cool with posting this? And I do it the gut check. But then if I know that it could catch the attention and inspire some other mothers to want the same thing that I want, that are educated and hard chargers and big dreamers and goal setters, and know that if they put their mind to it, they can do it. If a post that I'm going to do makes me a little uncomfortable, but I know that it could speak to one of those people, of course I'm going to put it out there. I don't have a second thought about it. Why wouldn't I? So that's my thought process on that. The third thing that I wrote down is that, and I've mentioned this, that you have to believe in this opportunity wholeheartedly. Yes, I have had dips and rises, and I've had a baby while I've been in this business, and I've made moves, and there are some days where I am all in, and some days where I'm barely surviving with 3 kids under 4. But at the end of the day, it never shakes clouds my judgment on what I believe this opportunity can be for myself and for other women and men who are willing to go all in. And I think that makes a difference. Life can get crazy, and you have to share that, but also still share that belief that this is awesome. What other job can you double your income every year? What other job can you truly help every single person you meet? No other job that I know of, no other product that I know of. And that's what makes this so special, and why it resonates with me so much, is because every single person you meet, you can either tell them about this opportunity and change their life in that sense, or you can really find a way to improve their health or improve their energy or to improve their confidence and how they feel about themselves. And that is something really special. And that is something that you won't find anywhere else. And if you have that mentality, like, I can help everyone, this opportunity can be for anyone that wants it, you will attract those people to you. You have to, my next point was, you have to be the example. And you have to know who you want to help and inspire. So if you talk about, wanting to be a hard charger and a big dreamer and a goal setter, you have to do it. You can't just write those things down because it's empty. It's easy to write it down. It's not easy to put the work in. It's not easy to think about what you have to give up. Are you going to give up your TV or your sleep, or you're going to have to rearrange your schedule, to do different things and maybe change some of your ideals? Yeah, you might have to. But if you really believe in this and know that you can do it, those things don't feel like a loss. They feel like just something you have to do, that you want to do, that you're excited to do. I got out of bed at 4 o'clock on a Saturday morning. That's weird. I get it. We are not the norm anymore. When you set these expectations for yourself and for your business, you walk out of that normal box that everyone else is very comfortable in. And now you're that uncomfortable person that they look at, that they don't really understand. But the right people, the people that you want to attract, have always kind of felt that way. Like, okay, here's this normal box. I'm comfortable in it. I'm fine in it. But I know I could be there. I know that that's an option for me. So why am I not doing it? And you have to do that through your posts and just through how you talk and how you live is be that example. I'm far from perfect. I screw up all the time. I don't get up at 4 o'clock every morning, that's for sure. But I always kind of have that energy and that drive to be like, oh gosh, I want to get out of bed. I wish the baby wasn't up all night so that I could get out of bed. But, I think just believing in it and wanting it so bad, to be that example for your coaches. To show them that it's possible. If they work just a little harder, they can do it too. And it's not easy, but then again, if you think this can be a life changer and a game changer for you, it's not going to be easy. So pick your easy. Would you want to be in bed and get that extra hour of sleep that easy? Or do you want to do the things that are hard right now so that you can have that life that you dream of, that you want your family to have? The last thing that I wanted to talk about was make it about your team. Don't make it about you. And I know I post a lot of things that are like, this is what I do, or this is how I feel about the business. But I always have that thought in my back of my head about who can I help with this post, and who can see this and recognize that I'm there for them, that I really want to help them change their lives. And, if it sounds funny to you, this is another little tip. If it sounds funny, read it out loud. And then that can kind of be your gauge on how to make it better. And the easiest thing to do and the hardest thing to do is be consistent. Be consistent with your vital behaviors. Always be working on you. Be reading personal development. In the beginning, I really just took personal development as listening to a training or a podcast or a webinar or a YouTube video. And while those things are awesome, and I think that they really can train you and teach you and move your business forward, at the end of the day, if you're not reading at least 15 minutes of a book, by the way, I read in the morning I try to read before I get out of bed, but typically I get out of bed with the baby and read right then before I do my workout. Because it just sets your mind and it sets your intention for that day to be really positive and to move your business forward. But you have to be reading your personal development. And because it's going to get hard, it's going to suck some days. You're going to question yourself if this is really the right thing for you. And your personal development will take you back to letting you know that you are awesome, that you can do this. And all of the other trainings and things you learn, yes, they're important. But the personal development is about you and improving yourself so that you can then help other people and inspire them. If you want to be a good leader, read a book about leadership. If you want to find a way to organize yourself, read those books. If you want to be a better, person with relationships or how to be more consistent, read those books. Like, I've always kind of been a reader, so maybe I can say that lightly, but even if you're not a reader, then get it on Audible. Get it on your Kindle so you can flip while you're at the grocery store in the line. But do it. Like, that, I think, is the number one thing that will help move your business forward and to attract those people to you, because you will be inspired by people who have already been an inspiration, and then you can then pay it forward. Obviously, getting your workout in and your Shakeology. If you're not a product of the product and committed to that, my diet is far from perfect, but I can assure you that I will share that my diet's far from perfect, but I'm always hoping that I can make it better and making little steps to make it better because it's hard to go from one way of eating into another. And the workouts, some people struggle more with workouts or whatever, but just being that consistent and and sharing about it. And then the inviting. I listened to something Melanie Mitro said right when I started, and she said, I feel comfortable with inviting. I feel very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable with inviting people. So my intention is to draw people to me by offering them content, by offering them the chance to see this opportunity, by making my posts really awesome so that people are then drawn to me and all I have to do is respond to them. And that's been my thought process with this. Like, I would much rather follow with people who have shown an interest, and maybe that's what's helped me is by, really studying and seeing what other top coaches do and finding and seeing how many likes they get and seeing how many comments they get, and maybe not using that picture verbatim, but being inspired by it and writing it down, and make your invites really solid, and then make your other content super solid so that people want to follow you and not just feel like you're trying to sell to them. Because I heard this today on a podcast, when you're walking in a shoe store, for example, and you see all of those shoes there, someone's not trying to be salesy and sell those to you. They're just there. It's an option. If it's the right pair of shoes for you, if it's something that you're inspired by and you all of a sudden love it because you see it, you're not offended by those shoes out there on display because of all of the other things going on where that's what you walked into. You chose to go into that store knowing that you could fall in love with your dream pair of shoes, for example. So it has to be the same thing on our pages. It has to be offer content and just put it there. You don't have to say, for $140 you have to buy this. You're not going to walk into that store that says that. But if someone is offering you a lot of really quality content and then just puts things out there like, hey, this could be great for you if, that's when your customers will come to you and you can help inspire them. Also the other tip I got from a good friend of mine was never discount a coach, ever. Seriously. I've had some coaches that I've met where it's like, oh my gosh, there's no way that we are going to click, or they just want to be a discount coach. And, once they see the opportunity in the business, because they might not see it when you first just offer the discount if they're a challenger and you're just kind of putting that opportunity in front of them to just save some money. Then all of a sudden they see that. And I have one coach who said, I want to be a discount coach. And then within a week told me she wanted to be a top 10 coach. So inspire people. Make sure to let them know whether they are a discount coach that has to, really come a long way in their health and fitness and they don't have that confidence yet, or someone who already has a very hot market, who has been doing this for a long time and has a great following. All of those people, that whole range of people, can be extremely successful in this business. And make sure they know that you believe in them and that you tell them that they can be whatever they want to be. It's inspiration, right? So this is a long video, and I'm sorry about that. I like to ramble, but there you go. I think it's a great way to attract rockstar coaches by all the things I talked about. If you have any questions, or if you feel like I need to help you become re-inspired, please reach out to me, because I'm here for you, and we can kind of brainstorm together. We can figure out a way to find that niche, to find you. And if you're ready to go all in, then I'll go all in with you. Talk to you soon, ladies.